Hey y'all, it's Stacey. Welcome back to the kitchen. Today we are amping up the flavors of pecan pie with these deep fried pecan pies. Let's jump right in. We're gonna start by making our filling. In my pot here, I'm going to add 1 firmly packed cup of light brown sugar. To this, I'm going to add 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter, a half a cup of light corn syrup, and 2 eggs. I'm just gonna mix this together. This is one of those things that you're gonna have to stand here and stir pretty consistently because we don't wanna scorch those eggs. We wanna make sure everything's mixed in really well. Once this comes to a boil, we're gonna stir in about 2 cups of chopped pecans. And then we're gonna bring that down to a simmer and let it cook for 5 to 8 minutes. It's gonna thicken up. Once that happens, we're gonna pull that off the heat. We're gonna stir in about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm gonna go ahead and add these. Like I said, once we've done that, 5 to 8 minutes, then we're gonna take it off the heat. I've got one already done over here. I've pulled it off the heat. I added my vanilla extract. Let's talk about our crust for a second. Now, if you're super industrious, you can absolutely make your own crust. But I'm using the refrigerated rolled pie crust here. This is a super easy way to do this that makes the process a little simpler. What I've done is I've dusted just a little bit of flour here on my board. I've rolled my pie crust out and I'm using about a 4-inch circle cutter just to cut out these circles that are gonna become the crust for our pies. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take about a heaping tablespoon of our filling here, put it right in the center, use just a little bit of water on the edge here. Let me show you that. Then we're gonna carefully fold this over and pinch these edges together. I'm gonna use a fork to crimp these just a little bit. In the center here, I've got a Dutch oven. I've got about 1 inch of vegetable oil heating to about 350 degrees. You could use vegetable oil, you could use peanut oil. These are gonna go right in here. They're gonna cook for 1 to 2 minutes on each side, and then we're gonna take them out and amp it up just a little bit more. All right, so these have been in here just long enough to get golden brown here on the outside. What I've done is I've lined a sheet pan here with some paper towels and put a rack over it. This just allows that grease to drain away. If we put them directly on the paper towels, sometimes they'll have a tendency to get soggy. I'm gonna dust these with a little powdered sugar. We're gonna let them cool just a little bit and then they're ready to eat. Folks, you can find this super easy recipe on my website, southernbite.com. Just visit the Simply Southern TV section. Y'all enjoy. I think these need a little bit more.
I'm not sure it's possible to get any more southern than a fried pecan pie. And they're a great dessert to have this time of year.
Definitely. They're just so homey and comforting. Something about them. It makes it a perfect holiday treat all the way from Halloween to Valentine's Day.
And this particular recipe used Priester's pecans, which is based in Fort Deposit, Alabama. We thank Priester's for sponsoring today's recipe segment.
And we thank y'all for joining us today, but it's time for us to say goodbye. Next week on Simply Southern, we'll look at a problem that affects most farmers, finding and keeping good, reliable labor.
And we'll look in on some of the top athletes in the country that got their start right here in the heart of Dixie at the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. I'm Kevin Worthington.
And I'm Mary Wilson. We'll see you then. Simply Southern is produced by the Alabama Farmers Federation and made possible with the support of Alabama Farmers Cooperative and these sponsors.